Welcome to DrVoIP training. This brief training segment is from the DrVoIP ShoreTel 8 administration video series. The complete 15 hours of training is available online or on DVD at drvoip.com. Let's meet our coach, Peter Buswell. Known throughout the telecom industry as DrVoIP, Peter brings a wealth of experience to his training sessions. He has worked in telecom since 1970. He's worked exclusively in VoIP since 1998. He's a VoIP entrepreneur with 3 venture capital-backed businesses. He has a Bachelor of Science degree in Information Technology Management, plus certifications from some of America's leading communications companies. Let's join one of Peter's training sessions now in progress.
So let's go over to individual IP phones under the IP phone administrative link, and we get an interesting screen that gives us information about the phones that have registered in the ShoreTel system. Now, when a phone registers in the system, it downloads its firmware and configuration information from the FTP site, which is typically the ShoreTel headquarters server. And in this case, we can see that we have a 265, an IP 265 set at 192.168.12.106. It's assigned to the switch central casting, and it's in the site Hollywood, and here's its MAC address. You may be surprised to find that we go ahead, ShoreTel that is, and name the phone with a MAC address. You might find it more useful to click on that MAC address, and you can actually go in here and change the name of that IP phone to something useful, like this phone belongs to Kim Novak. And then if we save that, when we look at the individual IP phone list again, you know, we've got some interesting information here that can help us figure out something about the phone just by observation. You'll also notice that there is a current and a home field. I don't have any situation here in which someone is logged into a phone that is not their home phone. Everybody is on their home phone, but you may from time to time pull up this screen and see that Alex Baldwin's, whose home phone is this MAC address, is currently logged into a different phone, and this list will show you those locations and point out that difference to you. I can see here also that we apparently had a SIP extension register in the system. I know that we had a Cisco 7960 phone that ShoreTel 8 now supports, and that is also showing up in our database on this system. So let's go back to quick look and see if that, hey, Hollywood is green. That's good news. So the Actor Studio, if I clicked on it, we see that the last time it booted, and we can see the current ROM and firmware version. The firmware version should be equal to the build that the rest of the system is running on. So that's good news. We're all green and good to go here. And if we went back to the switches link and clicked on the studio, we would find that we had some ports here that were both IP and analog. The reason I'm pointing that out in a discussion about IP phones is if we go back to the individual IP phones, up here I'm saying show me all of the switches, all of the IP phones, and I want you to show me all the IP phones on all of the switches and all of the sites. Well, we only have one site here in Hollywood, but we do have two different switches, and I might want to take a user like let me take these guys here, and I want to take those users and move them to this other switch. Right now it's showing me all phones on all switches and all sites. We only have one site, Hollywood, and you know that we have two switches, but right now we're only reporting that we have IP phones on the central casting switch. So what I'm going to do here is take a couple of the IP phones that are on the central casting switch, and I'm going to move them over to the Actor Studio switch. I'm not sure I want to move these 3 records. Yes, I'm sure. And let's go ahead and move them. And at this point, if we go back to switches and click on Actor Studio here, we probably see that we had spare IP phones available here. And if we go back to the individual IP phone map, and this time we say show us this is interesting. If I say show me all sites and all switches, I don't seem to see the users that I moved over to the switch that you and I both know lives at the Actor Studio. But it's funny, if I change this to Hollywood and say now in the drop-down window I can see the Actor Studio switch, and at this point when I find now, I'll see all the users on the switch entitled Actor Studio. So that's interesting. Caught me by surprise. All switches in Hollywood doesn't show me. Yet if I select Hollywood and select the drop-down window, Find Now shows me the Actors Studio switches, and I guess at this point I'm sorting by switches here. So if I find Now, I'm going to sort by switches. I was expecting that if I said all sites, all switches, it would show me all of the users regardless of, here we go, Actors Studio. So all sites, all switches shows me all sites, all switches. And if I select a particular site, Find Now, we should still see Actor Studio. There it is. And then I can also search by the particular switch. Just show me the users on the Actor Studio.